Give the floor to the distinguished representative of Sri Lanka.
Mr. President, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. It was Martin Luther King Jr. who said, quote, "Although we have learned to enjoy the freedom of the skies and fearlessly navigate the seas, we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers and sisters of one human family. Our abundance has brought us neither peace of mind nor serenity of spirit." How true, my dear friends. You will appreciate that throughout history, racism, xenophobia, and discrimination have indeed tested our democratic values, and the contemporary forms of discrimination presents to us major challenges in our quest for peace and social stability. The unabated tirade of hate speech, a resurgence of nationalist populism, and organizations that promote ideologies of racial superiority are debacles for all of us, isn't it, my dear friends? How do we move beyond the rhetoric and move forward to address these issues? This brings to my mind the late President Mandela when he said, quote, "No one is born hating another because of the color of his skin or his background." That's what he said. No one is born hating one another because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, he says, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. A gem of wisdom, my dear friends, to live by and pursue with all our hearts. So it is incumbent, I say therefore, for all of us today to review the achievements made so far regarding the elimination of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance in all its form and manifestations. My delegation strongly believes that this issue must be given our highest priority, as it is one of the core activities of this August Assembly. My dear friends, as set out in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the historic and forward-looking Durban Declaration and the Plan of Action, it is the duty of all nations to facilitate and ensure the quality in the fields of employment, the equality in the fields of employment, health, and environment towards a total and meaningful elimination of racism and racial discrimination. In this context, the Durban Declaration should be seen as a beginning and not as an end, as it is a key to responding to the hopes and aspirations of those who continue to suffer discrimination right across the globe. Sri Lanka reaffirms that all human beings are born free and equal, as it was observed many times this morning, and in dignity and rights. The fundamental rights chapter of our Constitution guarantees the non-discrimination of persons in terms of Article 12, Sub-Article 2. So in this context, we are of the view that any discrimination or doctrine of racial superiority is scientifically false, morally reprehensible, and socially unjust and destructive. Sri Lanka also observes that the internet platforms and digital technologies are also being used to promote and raise funds to promote racism and xenophobia, and this cannot be tolerated. Mr. President, in addressing socio-economic impact caused by the pandemic, the government's approach has been inclusive and non-discriminatory and holistic, providing foremost importance to safeguarding the health and safety not only of its people, but also of foreign nationals within its territory. Mr. President, the government of Sri Lanka remains committed to build a society where the rights of all communities are secured and their safety and security is ensured. Human dignity is valued and equal treatment to every person, notwithstanding religion, ethnicity, or race, is an accepted form of public life. So in going forward, Sri Lanka envisions an inclusive transformation towards a sustainably developed nation for everyone who lives there, where strengthened law enforcement and rights protection is recognized as being critical. My dear friends, I will leave you with what President Obama said in with regard to our responsibilities as members of one human family. Quote, he said, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or for some other time. We are the ones of change where the world has been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Let us therefore speak out loud and clear for a world free of racism." I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the distinguished representative of Sri Lanka.